We got another comment we're going to bring in for what Yins think. Dealing with Kenny PIckett. Steeler Wade Show writes in saying, Ike, with Kenny being great in pressure situations, is that similar to pressure in whole game playoff situations? Do people who know, I don't know, the grammar's not great here. Do people ever know of just getting him into the show? I think what he's trying to ask is the importance of just getting into the playoffs. We talked about this some on last week's show, Ike, but I guess what Wade is trying to ask is those late game pressure situations, is that different in the playoffs where you're feeling that pressure for the duration of an entire game?
Everything is magnified when it comes to the playoffs. So Pittsburgh we don't look at playoffs. We look at hoisting Lombardis. When I played, playoffs was just getting in the tournament. Once we get in the tournament, we felt like we had action to hoist the Lombardi. We ain't even looking at playoffs. We just looked at playoffs like another extension of the season. But the end goal, like we never wanted to feel like, oh, we knew we was gonna get to the playoffs. We just didn't know which seed we was gonna be when we got in the playoffs. Like we ain't never out my 12 years, I think I only missed 2 years of going to the playoffs, so maybe 3. So playoffs ain't the issue. Kenny is built for these so-called pressure situations. So really towards the end, just my personal opinion, and we'll talk about this at the end of the season. This one, I think Kenny is going to hit his stride late in the season. So this is perfect for Kenny to start balling out right now. So he's never been a start fast kind of guy. Last year, he didn't start fast. As a rookie, he didn't start fast. Once he got comfortable, once he understood and the game slowed down to him, we saw what strides he made. I think the light switch about to come on for him. But as far as like Kenny and pressure, Kenny always ran into the fire, not away from the fire if the kitchen was hot.
Thank you to Steeler Wade Show for that comment, Ike. And I felt good after some of my commentary last week. Got a lot of feedback about it, Ike. And I asked people like, who could the Steelers have gotten at quarterback? And the 2 names that we got were Will Levis and Brock Purdy, and any NFL team could have had either of those players.
Right.
In terms of who the Steelers were supposed to go out and get post Roethlisberger. So thank you to Steeler Wade Show for that. And I'll bring in a comment from Joseph as well, saying the Browns are going to have to load the box against the run. Kenny might have to win with his arm, and the Browns secondary, number 1 against the pass, will be difficult. Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of adapt with what the defense is doing. And if Ward's going to neutralize your best receiver, whether that's Pickens, whether that's Deontay Johnson, you're going to have to figure out a different way to attack this Browns defense and to keep Kenny clean against a pass rush led by Myles Garrett, where Dan Moore Jr. typically does a pretty good job against Garrett. I know they share alma maters from college as well, Ike, but thank you to Joseph for this comment too. And I'm very curious to see what the Browns decide to do, because what I've seen from defense, Ike, the last few weeks is saying, hey, we're going to double Pickens. And then that sets up the running game. Well, if you want to take away the running game, then maybe you find George Pickens on the few opportunities that he gets and he makes a game-breaking play. So the Steelers have options now, and they just haven't had the personnel and the players to kind of do that in previous seasons. But the last 2 weeks, it's been Pickens has been the one that you take away. And that's why the ground game has gotten going. You've had back-to-back weeks of season-high rushing totals.
Yeah.
That's how I see that.
If they're going to load the box, Kenny and company they're going to have a good time. Deontay going to have a good time. GP going to have a good time. And even coming out, Connor going to have a good time coming out of the backfield. And even Jalen going to have a good time on the swing passes coming out of the backfield if they want to load the box. If y'all want to load the box and y'all want to make Kenny PIckett beat y'all, well, here we go. That's what I'm saying, Mark. I really do think this game, Kenny is going to wake up. This is exactly why I'm saying this, because of this. Because the Browns going to make Kenny beat him. They going to make Kenny beat him. And GP and Deontay and company, them boys going to be like, all right, well, we good. About time we found somebody who just want Kenny to beat us, because we got action.